All right. Okay. We'll be starting with the session for today. Today, we'll be discussing something very interesting. However, before we get to those provisions, let us just go through what we have learned so far. So we'll just quickly skim through what we have learned so far. Let us begin with let us begin with how we started with the RERA Act. RERA Act came into picture in 2016. It came with the intention to bring transparency and accountability, as well as to bring protection for the buyers who buy any property that is available in the market. And it was introduced to bring uniformity in the laws that deal with real estate, because it was a very unorganized sector which was not being overlooked by any body per se who could regularize the entire market. So RERA Act was brought into picture. Now there are various sections in the RERA Act. We had an overview of those sections, such as sections for project registration, sections dealing with duties and rights and liabilities of the builder or the promoter, that is the developer, and allottees. Then there were sections that related to what happens if the builder does not fulfill his responsibilities. What are the actions that the RERA authorities across the country can take against them. So the entire act has substantive sections as well as procedural sections. Now, what is substantive sections? Substantive provisions are the provisions which tell us what are the promoter's responsibilities, what are the buyer's rights, how these rights and duties bring in fairness and transparency in the system. So we'll be starting with the substantive provisions under the RERA Act that are there. The most important substantive provisions we can say that everybody should be well aware of are sections 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, and 19. So we'll be dealing with those in detail today to understand how from the Act there is an obligation that flows on the promoter. There's a clear-cut distinction drawn on what are the rights of the allottee and where the allottee should be where while buying a property. There is a concept that is called let the buyer be aware, that it is the duty of the buyer to be aware of what he is buying, what are the deficiencies in what he is buying, what are the benefits of what he is buying. However, this excuse cannot be used by the builder for any and everything that he does. So it is very important for us to be able to understand what is the clear distinction between what are the rights and obligations that that are there with the builder and what are his duties, what is he bound to disclose to an allottee, towards which he cannot take the protection that the allottee didn't come and ask me, so I am not supposed to tell him, or I am not liable to tell it to him. We'll be starting with section 11. Now section 11 defines the functions and the duties of the promoter. What are functions and what are duties? Functions is something which a promoter is liable to do to make the transaction feasible for everyone. And what are his duties? What are the duties that he is bound to provide to the allottee? And how infringing these duties or going against these duties or not performing these functions make a promoter liable towards an allottee under the RERA Act. So states the section is divided into subclauses. Subclause A talks about the first function and duty of the promoter, and that is to get the project registered. Since it's an obligation for a promoter to get his project registered with the authority, he is obligated, his first obligation is to provide details of the registration granted by the authority. The first and the foremost thing that he needs to do is provide the details that this is the registration number of my project. This is the registration number that the Honorable Real Estate Authority of this state has granted to me. Now, what that does, how that brings an advantage for an allotee. जब किसी allotee को ये पता होता है कि उसके प्रोजेक्ट का रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर इज दिस पर्टिकुलर नंबर, वो रेरा अथॉरिटी के पास जाके उस प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन ले सकते हैं जो कि बिल्डर ने वहां पे डिस्क्लोज किया, टू बी श्योर टू नो कि प्रोजेक्ट के क्या प्रोस्पेक्ट्स हैं, क्या फ्यूचर प्रोस्पेक्ट्स हैं, क्या डिटेल्स हैं प्रोजेक्ट के, क्या फाइनेंसेस हैं, क्या लोकेशन है, क्या साइट प्लान है, क्या फ्लोर प्लान है, क्या यूनिट प्लान्स हैं, to be clear about everything that has been provided by the builder to the authority, and this to ensure that there is no violation, there is no false information that the builder is providing you. Any allotee can always go and cross check with the registration number of the project, the details of the project. Now, what a promoter is further liable to do is, the promoter, when he registers a project, is provided with a login ID and password on the portal of the concerned RERA authority. And that login and password gives him access to upload information. The information that we are able to see, we are not able to see the entire information, but some of the information, like we can access the A to H form of a project on Haryana RERA's website. For every project that it's been uploaded, that is a registered project, there is something called an A to H form, which provides the details of the, let's say if a builder has obtained environment clearance, so the date of environment clearance, the date of building plan, other information that is there in the A2H form is visible to the public eye, for the public to know and to be aware of what is happening in the project. So that login and ID password is from where the promoter uploads all this information on the RERA's website. Now, what the promoter has to do is, he has to quarterly update this information. He has to every quarter update the number of apartments that he has booked, the number of units that he sold, the status of construction, what is happening at site, what was the plan, how much of it is done. So, and plus any approval, sanctions, licenses that were pending, क्योंकि जरूरी नहीं है कि जिस टाइम हमने रजिस्ट्रेशन कराया हो हमें सारी परमिशंस मिल गई हो. कुछ परमिशंस के लिए बिल्डर्स ऑफन गिव अंडरटेकिंग कि हमने अप्लाई कर रखा है, इट वी विल रिसीव इट इन दिस मच ऑफ टाइम, बट यू ग्रांट अस रजिस्ट्रेशन सो दैट वी कैन स्टार्ट विद द वर्क. So as and when those pending approvals and licenses are granted to the builder, he has to upload that also on the website. So all such information is mandatory for the builder to be brought to the notice of the authority. That is his first function and duty towards the RERA authority, and it is for the advantage of the allottees to be able to have access to that information. Now, the second important duty and function that lies is how they advertise. What was noticed pre-RERA was, many a times there were advertisements that stated a lot of promises that were made about a project, about a unit, about the specifications of the project, about the facilities that will be there in the project. बट जब एक्चुअली वो प्रोजेक्ट बनता था वो सारे फैसिलिटीज अवेलेबल ही नहीं होते थे. सो रेरा मेड इट अ पॉइंट टू मेक इट मैंडेटरी कि जो भी एडवर्टाइजमेंट किया जा रहा है किसी भी रजिस्टर्ड प्रोजेक्ट को लेके, वो एडवर्टाइजमेंट में जो भी क्लेम्स कोई भी बिल्डर कर रहा है वो उन क्लेम्स को फुलफिल करे. So now many RERA authorities across the states have come up with something that is the rules for advertisement. For instance, Haryana RERA has gotten rules for advertisements जिसमें कि instructions, guidelines दी हुई हैं कि कोई advertisement अगर कोई builder दे रहा है किसी भी project के बारे में, तो what is the necessary information that advertisement needs to have. अब वो information क्या हो सकती है? If we take Haryana RERA's example, it is mandatory कि हरियाणा रेरा के साथ जो रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर मिला है प्रोजेक्ट को, वो रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर उस एडवर्टाइजमेंट पे दिया हो, हरियाणा रेरा की वेबसाइट उस एडवर्टाइजमेंट पे मेंशन्ड हो, जो प्रोजेक्ट की रजिस्टर्ड वेबसाइट बनाई जाती है दैट वेबसाइट शुड बी मेंशन्ड ऑन दैट एडवर्टाइजमेंट. नो फॉल्स क्लेम्स शुड बी मेड इन दैट एडवर्टाइजमेंट. All of this is provided in the guidelines, and the builder is liable to follow that. So that is the second function that a builder is liable towards. Then the third one is कि किसी भी बुकिंग, जब कोई अलॉटी किसी बिल्डर के पास जाता है या प्रमोटर के पास जाता है to to apply for booking of a unit, then at the time of booking, uh, either at the time of booking or after a few days, they issue allotment letter जिसमें आपको एक यूनिट प्रोविजनली अलॉट की जाती है, saying कि this is the unit that you applied for, this is the tentative area of the unit, this is the tentative price of the unit. So it is the promoter's responsibility that at the time of booking and issuing this allotment letter, there is certain information that is mandatory for him to disclose to the allotee. So in these situations, he cannot say that the buyer didn't come and ask me कि exact carpet area कितना है unit का, तो मैंने उसे बताया नहीं. That is not a kind of excuse a promoter can take. So that is why the RERA Act very specifically mentions कि promoter will disclose the information at the time of booking or allotment. अभी information क्या होगी? So it will be the sanction plan. What is the sanction plan? What is the layout plan? Project का layout क्या होगा? Unit का layout क्या होगा? उसके specifications क्या होंगे? Area क्या होगा? Total price क्या होगा? Specifications से क्या मतलब है कि जो यूनिट के अंदर मैपिंग है उसके स्पेसिफिकेशंस क्या है, जो फिक्सचर्स वो लगा के देगा उसके स्पेसिफिकेशंस क्या है, जो बाकी फैसिलिटीज प्रोजेक्ट में प्रोवाइड की जाएंगी उसके स्पेसिफिकेशंस क्या है, प्राइस क्या होगा यूनिट का, कौन से चार्जेस बिल्डर आपसे लेगा, ये सब कुछ प्रोवाइडेड होना चाहिए. इसके साथ साथ द प्रमोटर इज ऑल्सो लाइबल टू टेल द स्टेज वाइज टाइम शेड्यूल फॉर कंप्लीशन ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट, विच इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. बिकॉज अगर आपको यही नहीं पता है कि आप जिस प्रोजेक्ट में यूनिट ले रहे हो वो प्रोजेक्ट कब तक खत्म होने वाला है और किस स्टेजेस में खत्म होने वाला है, यू विल नेवर नो व्हाट इज द अपडेट इन द प्रोजेक्ट एंड व्हेन इट इज गेटिंग फिनिश्ड. सो इट रेरा मेक्स इट मैंडेटरी फॉर द बिल्डर टू डिस्क्लोज कि वो कब किस किस स्टेज में प्रोजेक्ट को खत्म करने वाले हैं एंड कब तक वो प्रोजेक्ट को फाइनली कंप्लीट कर देंगे अलोंग विथ ऑल फैसिलिटीज सच एज इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कनेक्शन, वाटर, सैनिटेशन, all of these facilities. So it is the liability of the builder. Now here one thing which we can also note is that many of the builders offer a construction linked payment plan. That construction linked payment plan is also something which discloses कि जो payment installment builder आपसे raise करेगा at certain point after completing a construction milestone, वो डिमांड आपसे उसी पॉइंट पे रेज कर सकते हैं, वो माइलस्टोन अचीव करने से पहले नहीं रेज कर सकते. नाउ गोइंग फॉरवर्ड देयर इज सब क्लॉज 4 जिसके अंदर द एक्ट स्पेसिफाइज कि प्रमोटर शैल मींस कि उसका मैंडेटरी ऑब्लिगेशन है, वो स्किप नहीं कर सकता. इट इज नॉट प्रमोटर में. If it was may, it would not be a mandatory obligation. It would be an optional obligation on the promoter. But however, clause 4 clearly states that it is a mandatory obligation on the promoter to follow all the rules, regulations, functions that are provided under the act. Now, every state makes their own rules that we are very clear of, and they make certain regulations, they issue notifications, they issue clarifications. So it is not that the builder is only bound by the RERA Act. He is also bound by all the rules that are made under the act, all the regulations that are passed under the act, all the notifications that are passed under the act. The builder is bound from all of those. Now, the builder also has an obligation to execute agreement to sell with every allotee. Now, earlier what used to happen was that the builders used to take a very large amount of money towards the total sale consideration of the unit from the allotee before even executing an agreement to sell. RERA has made it mandatory that no builder will take more than 10% of the money from any allotee before executing the agreement to sell. नाउ जो प्रमोटर है उससे अग्रीमेंट टू सेल जो वो एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं, उसके अंदर डिफाइन करना होता है कि उनकी राइट्स और लाइबिलिटीज क्या होंगे, अलॉटी के राइट्स और लाइबिलिटीज क्या होंगे, एसोसिएशन ऑफ अलॉटीज के राइट्स और लाइबिलिटीज क्या होंगे। एसोसिएशन ऑफ अलॉटीज, बिल्डर का ये ऑब्लिगेशन होता है कि एसोसिएशन ऑफ अलॉटीज के साथ मिल जैसी एसोसिएशन ऑफ अलॉटीज फॉर्म हो जाती है वो हैंड ओवर करें प्रोजेक्ट को वो एसोसिएशन ऑफ अलॉटीज को। ना अपार्टमेंट या यूनिट की जो कन्वेयंस डीड होती है उसे एग्जीक्यूट कराए, ये भी बिल्डर का आई बिलीव समवन हैज अ क्वेश्चन। यस सर। Sir, you're not audible to me somehow. I believe you're on mute. I cannot hear you, sir. Is it just me or can someone else convey to me what sir is saying if sir is audible to them?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, I can.
My
Yes.
some problem. I am saying that you said 10% of the money, they cannot take more than 10% money before signing agreement to sell.
Yes, sir.
Does that imply that once the agreement to sell is made, then they can take any amount of money after that?
Yes, once the agreement to sell is executed, then as per your payment plan, they can take the consideration as it is decided. But it is an obligation that not more than 10% will be accepted towards the cost of the apartment before the signing of the agreement. That will be dealing in details under section 13. If a builder takes more than 10% of the cost of the apartment before signing agreement to sell, it amounts to violation of section 13 of the act.
Fine. Thank you.
All right, sir. Okay, so getting back to subclause 4, we were discussing कि it is also the obligation of the builder to ensure कि जो apartments उन्होंने sell करें, जो units उन्होंने sell किए, उसकी conveyance deed execute हो. Conveyance deed is the deed जिसकी through which forms the basis of the transfer of the rights of that unit to the person who has bought the unit. Agreement to sell is just an agreement that is happening between the allottee and the builder that yes, I will be selling this unit to you, and allottee is saying yes, I'll be paying X amount of money to you towards selling me this unit. But conveyance deed is what stamps the transfer. Conveyance deed is what transfers the title of the unit from the builder to the allottee. That is what gives the right of the absolute ownership to the allottee. So it is very, very essential that conveyance deed of all apartments and units bought by a respective allottees is executed. So that is also one of the obligations of the builder to ensure that conveyance deeds for all apartments, plots, building, whatever the case is being executed. Now, conveyance is for the individual unit. What about the whole project? How does the builder transfer the entire project? पूरे project का क्या होगा? So every project there is either an RWA, that is Residents Welfare Association, or Association of Allottees. ऐसी कोई competent authority बनाई जाती है जो कि पूरे project को take over करती है. Once RWA or Association of Allottees is registered, it is the builder is duly obligated to transfer the entire project to that authority. So that authority from there on takes over the maintenance of the project to see over all the common areas of the project. So that the whole entire common area of the project is transferred to the RWA or Association of Allottees or whatever the competent authority is as per the case. Now, अगर बिल्डर ने कोई प्रोजेक्ट बना दिया, अब हम कह रहे हैं कि सारे राइट्स ऑब्लिगेशन सब कुछ क्लोज हो जाते हैं जब कन्वेंस डीड एग्जीक्यूट हो जाती है. बट व्हाट इफ जो प्रोजेक्ट बिल्डर ने हमें बना के दिया है उसके अंदर कोई स्ट्रक्चरल डिफेक्ट हो, तो क्या बिल्डर की कोई ऑब्लिगेशन ही नहीं होगी कि अगर कन्वेंस डीड एग्जीक्यूट हो गई है और प्रोजेक्ट हैंड ओवर हो गया तो क्या बिल्डर ये बोल सकता है कि मेरा तो कोई ऑब्लिगेशन ही नहीं है, मैं तो सब ट्रांसफर कर चुका हूँ? Then the answer is no. It is section 14 which provides कि अगर किसी भी प्रोजेक्ट में कोई स्ट्रक्चरल डिफेक्ट है, then the builder shall remain liable towards that structural defect. So even if the unit has been transferred, the project has been transferred, conveyance deed has been executed, if it turns out that there is a structural defect in the project, then the builder will remain liable. Now a question may arise कि क्या ये liability indefinite होगी? So then the answer is no. That depends on the state rules. That what will be the liability? For instance, Haryana RERA model rule says 5 years will be the liability towards structural defect. So that depends from state to state what will be the obligation for what period. But it is the liability of the promoter towards structural defect, even if the conveyance is executed. Then what else is the liability? अब हम बात कर रहे हैं कि बिल्डर प्रमोटर एग्जीक्यूट कराएगा कन्वेयंस डीड, बट उससे उससे पहले एक बहुत एसेंशियल स्टेप है. हाउ डू वी नो कि द प्रोजेक्ट इज रेडी और अब हम अपनी यूनिट को ऑक्यूपाई कर सकते हैं, या प्रोजेक्ट रेडी हो गया है, इसका क्या सर्टिफिकेशन है? तो द कंसर्न अथॉरिटीज गिव समथिंग कॉल्ड ऑक्यूपेशन सर्टिफिकेट to the respective project, to the respective proportion of the project in which your unit is. That is how you know that yes, this unit is now safe to be occupied. The terms and conditions that were provided to obtain occupancy certificate has been fulfilled by the builder. The services that he promised to provide has been fulfilled, and now the unit is ready for occupation. So this occupation certificate is necessary for any builder to offer possession of a unit to any of the allottees. It's a pre-step. It's a step before. It is mandatory for an builder to obtain an occupation certificate before offering the possession of the unit. Now there is also something called completion certificate. Completion certificate comes as a whole of the entire project. Occupation certificate may be in parts. That for instance, अगर किसी project में 4 towers हैं, तो it could be that part occupation certificate मिले, एक tower complete करने के बाद builder वो उस particular tower के लिए occupation certificate ले आए, then next tower. But completion certificate comes as a whole. So it is after the OC that the builder offers the possession of the unit. Now, the next liability of the builder is to maintain the essential services in the project on reasonable rates. That till the time the maintenance of the society is not handed over to RWA or Association of Allottees, it is the promoter's obligation to maintain all essential services. Essential services क्या होती हैं? Uh, water, sanitation, cleanliness, the maintenance of the green areas, maintenance of common areas, maintenance of services that such as lifts. All of this forms part of essential services, and these services are taken care of by the promoter. Now it is not like the promoter can come and say ki, because I'm providing you these services, I'll take X amount of money from you, which is at very high rate. And reasonably any prudent person can make out that this cannot be the rate that is being this cannot be the charges that is being levied to us are not justified. Any prudent person can make out ki charges justified nahi. So the obligation is to provide these services at reasonable charges. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि वो बहुत ज्यादा exorbitant charges हम पे लेवी करें. तो उन्हें reasonable charges के साथ हमें maintenance provide करनी है project की. Then what is the obligation of the builder further is, हम बात कर रहे हैं कि जो common areas हैं वो builder hand over करेगा RWA को या Association of Allottees को. But उसका formation कैसे होगा? So it has been made an obligation on the builder to facilitate, to enable the formation of Association of Allottees or a society, or if it's a cooperative society, then cooperative society, whatever the respective rules that apply on that particular project, it is the obligation of the promoter to facilitate कि वहां पे Association of Allottees RWA as per local laws बन जाए, and it is preferably within 3 months from booking of the majority of the units that are there in the project. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि पूरा प्रोजेक्ट खत्म होने का हम वेट करेंगे उसके बाद ही एसोसिएशन बनेगी. It is preferably when majority of the apartments, units, plots, whatever the case is, are sold to any allottee, are booked in name of allottees, and within 3 months of that, it is preferred that such a association is made, until unless otherwise provided in local laws. Like अगर कोई और timeline local laws में दिया तो वो follow होगी. If not, then this 3 month timeline can be followed. Now we discussed कि conveyance deed के through unit का title transfer होगा to the allottees. But what about the common area? Now common area की जो title या ownership होती है, that all we said that it will be the RWA or the Association of Allottees that will take care of the common area. But who keeps the title? So there is an undivided proportionate title of the common area that goes along with every unit. But such a common area cannot be divided. It will never be that the common area be split, that one person goes and says ki this much circle of common area is mine, so you divide and you give me this much circle. That is not the case. However, the title of the common area remains with all the allottees in that project, undivided proportionate title of the common area. Proportionate as in जितनी units हैं उसके basis पे proportionately common area हर एक allotee के पास उसकी ownership रहती है, but that common area can never be divided under any circumstances. Now, what is the next obligation of the builder? What is the next duty? So, the next duty of the builder is नॉट, जैसे कि हमने अभी बात करी कि वो कॉमन एरियाज हैंड ओवर करेंगे आरडब्ल्यू और एसोसिएशन ऑफ अलॉटीज को. बट व्हाट अबाउट द मनी दैट द बिल्डर हैज टेकन फ्रॉम द अलॉटीज टुवर्ड्स द मेंटेनेंस ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट? या फिर कोई उन्होंने मेंटेनेंस के लिए एडवांस अगर लिया हो, आईएफएमएस हो, काफी सारे ऐसे चार्जेस होते हैं जो कई बार बिल्डर के पास डिपॉजिटेड होते हैं. व्हाट अबाउट दोस? क्या बिल्डर वो अपने पास रख लेगा? देन द आंसर इज नो. The builder hands over whatever deposit towards the maintenance of the society that he has with him. जैसे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के लिए कोई एडवांस ले रखा हो, वाटर के लिए ले रखा हो, मेंटेनेंस चार्जेस ले रखे हो, या किसी टैक्स को पे करने के लिए एडवांस अगर बिल्डर ने देखा है, all of that is transferred to the association of allottees. Whatever money he is collected from the allottees towards the future of the project, that is bound to be transferred to the association of the allottees. Now, when a builder executes an agreement to sell for any of the units, the builder cannot create a charge or mortgage on such a unit. कई बार बिल्डर्स जो हैं वो प्रोजेक्ट को डेवलप करने के लिए फाइनेंसेस लेते हैं अलग अलग सोर्सेस से, बैंक इंस्टीट्यूट से, प्राइवेट फाइनेंसर्स से इन्वेस्टमेंट्स लेते हैं टू डेवलप द प्रोजेक्ट. नाउ इन ऑर्डर टू डू दैट दे ऑफन मॉर्गेज द प्रोजेक्ट, ऑफन मॉर्गेज certain proportion of the project. They create charge on the units in the project, but the RERA Act makes it mandatory कि कोई भी यूनिट जो किसी अलॉटी को मिल गई है, कोई भी यूनिट जो किसी अलॉटी के को अलॉट कर दी गई है, उस यूनिट पे कोई भी प्रमोटर चार्ज या मॉर्गेज को क्रिएट नहीं कर सकता. That unit should be free from all encumbrances whatsoever. Any unit that has been allotted to an allottee should be absolutely free in its title. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि बिल्डर ने चार्ज क्रिएट कर रखा है यूनिट के ऊपर और यूनिट अलॉटी को अलॉट कर दी, कल को बिल्डर ने लोन पे करने से मना कर दिया तो कैन दैट फाइनेंस बैंक कम एंड टेल द अलॉटी दैट द बिल्डर हैज नॉट पेड अस, वी आर टेकिंग अवे द यूनिट? इस सिनेरियो को बचाने के लिए द रियल एस्टेट एक्ट हैज मेड इट मैंडेटरी कि कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर अगर फाइनेंसेस कोई बिल्डर ले रहा है तो ही कैन नॉट क्रिएट अ चार्ज ऑन द यूनिट्स दैट हैव बीन ऑलरेडी अलॉटेड और सोल्ड टू एनी ऑफ द अलॉटीज. नाउ वी सी कि प्रमोटर के पास एक राइट होता है कि अगर कोई अलॉटी कंप्लाई नहीं कर रहा है विद द टर्म्स तो द प्रमोटर कैन कैंसिल द अलॉटमेंट ऑफ द यूनिट. But that cancellation should not be arbitrary. That cancellation should not be unilateral. मतलब without any cause, without any reason, arbitrarily अपनी मर्जी से कोई प्रमोटर कैंसिल नहीं कर सकता किसी का अलॉटमेंट. It has to be according to the rules, regulations. अगर अगर प्रमोटर को अगर प्रमोटर को रिलीफ चाहिए तो प्रमोटर भी रेरा अथॉरिटी के पास जा सकता है टू से दैट दिस पर्सन इज नॉट पेइंग मी, दिस अलॉटी इज नॉट पेइंग मी. You either direct him to pay or you cancel his allotment. But it cannot be the case that the builder suddenly cancels the unit of the allotee without any reason, without giving him due opportunity to rectify, even if he's in delay of making payments or such. Now, every state has different rules pertaining to this that are prescribed. And according to that, those rules, also the promoter can see that what is the process to go forth to understand how he can cancel the unit. Now we come to section number 12. Now section number 12 provides for the obligations of the promoter regarding advertisements और prospects. अभी हमने ऊपर डिस्कस किया था कि कोई भी प्रमोटर अगर किसी प्रोजेक्ट को लेके एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स या पब्लिकेशन इशू कर रहा है so that should be in compliance with RERA. Now this section is a step forward to that. It provides कि where any person who has made a deposit on the basis of information that is provided in such an advertisement, then he should not suffer such any loss or damage because of the reason कि वो information incorrect थी या false थी. And if that is the case, then the promoter shall be liable to compensate such person. So what this section tries to say is कि despite the guidelines that the authority has issued, what if a builder promises a certain facility, promises certain specifications in the project or in the unit, जिसके basis पे किसी अलॉटी ने वो यूनिट खरीदी हो. फॉर इंस्टेंस अगर मैं एक अलॉटी हूँ, मैंने एक एडवर्टाइजमेंट देखा या मुझे एक ब्रोशर दी बिल्डर ने अबाउट द प्रोजेक्ट जिसमें ये लिखा हुआ है कि प्रोजेक्ट में स्विमिंग पूल होगा. जिस जिस टावर में आपकी यूनिट आपको हम दे रहे हैं उस टावर के ठीक सामने स्विमिंग पूल होगा. सो नाउ me being interested in that swimming pool, I pay for that unit. Maybe I pay extra towards that unit to get that unit. But it turns out future में जब प्रोजेक्ट खत्म हो रहा है कि वो कभी भी स्विमिंग पूल वहां पे बनाया ही नहीं गया या फिर मेरे टावर के सामने वो स्विमिंग पूल कहीं और बना दिया गया. So that a builder cannot do. So what do we do in such a circumstance? The builder becomes obligated to compensate me if he does something like that. If he makes false promises, if he makes incorrect promises in any of the advertisements or brochures, it is his liability to compensate me for the same. So that is provided under section 12. Now what if based on this promise, अभी हमने बात की कि builder will compensate me, but what if that compensation is not satisfying me? What if I feel that अगर मुझे ये facility provide नहीं की गई है तो मुझे इस project में unit ही नहीं चाहिए. Then if that is the scenario, then the builder becomes obligated to return me the entire money I have paid for that unit along with interest. इफ आई से कि बिकॉज आपने मुझे फॉल्स प्रोमिस किए, आपने मुझे ये फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड नहीं की, आई एम नो मोर इंटरेस्टेड इन बीइंग अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस प्रोजेक्ट, then the allotee will refund the amount that I have paid towards that unit along with interest to me because he made false promises to me and with compensation. Now we'll go to section 13. We just discussed, sir just asked the question also कि section 13 सेक्शन 13 में क्या अगर मोर देन 10% वो अग्रीमेंट टू सेल एग्जीक्यूट होने के बाद लेता है तो इज दैट फाइन? सो यस, इट इज सेक्शन 13 दैट स्पेसिफाइज कि कोई भी डिपॉजिट या एडवांस कोई भी प्रमोटर नहीं लेगा विदाउट एंटरिंग इनटू एन अग्रीमेंट टू सेल. अब the heading does not say 10%. The section says 10%. The first line of the section says कि the promoter shall not accept a sum for more than 10%. It does not say कि exactly 10%. अगर 5% भी उसने लिया है तो that is okay. 9% भी लिया है तो भी okay है. But not 11, not 12. Anything over and above 10%. To 10% of what? Now the question arises, 10% of what? Does 10% include all the other charges that the promoter may ask us for? Then the act clearly specifies that 10% of the cost of the apartment or the plot or the building, whatever the case is. So it is the cost of the apartment on which such 10% is to be charged. अब वो 10% क्या वो एक बिल्कुल अग्रीमेंट टू सेल होने के एग्जीक्यूट होने के बाद भी नहीं ले सकता? देन नो. वो कैसे नहीं ले सकता? ही कैन नॉट टेक इट एज एन एडवांस. जो एडवांस, जो बुकिंग चार्जेस, जो एप्लीकेशन फी हमसे ली जाती है टिल द एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ अग्रीमेंट टू सेल, this whole amount should not exceed more than 10%. After entering a written agreement, we are talking कि agreement to sell होने तक वो 10% नहीं ले सकता. But can this agreement to sell be oral? The answer is no. It has to be a written agreement which is executed between the builder and such an allotee, and that same agreement has to be registered as well as per the law, time being in force. जब वो agreement to sell register हो जाता है, from there forth more than 10% can be collected by the promoter as the payment plan, as per the payment plan. Now, uh, there is a subclause 2 to section 13 that provides कि अगर अगर किसी प्रोजेक्ट के specifications towards payment are linked with the construction of the building, internal works, development, external works, जिसमें payment करनी है towards the apartment, then the allotee, as and when it is asked by the promoter, the allotee will make those payments subject to the clause 1. Now we move to section number 14. Section number 14 provides adherence to the sanctioned plans, project specifications by the promoter. Now we discussed in very brief ऊपर कि जो sanction plan provide होता है by the concerned authority, let's say a building plan if it's a unit, वो sanction plan के basis पे ही project को बनाया जाए. कोई promoter चेंज ना कर दे सैंक्शन प्लान को, लेआउट प्लान को, स्पेसिफिकेशंस को विदाउट द अप्रूवल ऑफ द कंसर्न्ड अथॉरिटी. जो भी कॉम्पिटेंट कंसर्न्ड अथॉरिटी है उसने जो प्लान एग्जीक्यूट किया है, प्लान को आपके अप्रूवल दिया है, उसी के एग्जीक्यूशन, उसी अप्रूव प्लान के एग्जीक्यूशन के बेसिस पे प्रोजेक्ट बनाया जाए. उसमें एडिशंस, ऑल्टरेशंस arbitrarily ना किए जाएं without disclosure to the allottees, without approval of such competent authority. अगर कोई additions, alterations किए भी जा रहे हैं तो उसके लिए prior consent लेनी होती है of that concerned allottee. Now if it is very minor additions and alterations, which are required by an allotee. Since we are saying ऊपर की alterations नहीं होने चाहिए sanction plan में, एंड अगर बिल्डर अपनी मर्जी से करना चाहता है तो वो अलॉटी की कंसेंट लेगा, बट व्हाट इफ द अलॉटी वांट्स कि ओके ये मेरा यूनिट है, आप इसमें ये वाला थोड़ा सा वॉल का गेट का स्ट्रक्चर थोड़ा सा ऐसे, मुझे आर्च चाहिए, आप रेक्टेंगुलर गेट की जगह मुझे आर्च दे दो. सो इफ इट इज समथिंग माइनर दैट एन अलॉटी वांट्स, some minor changes that a lottery requests for, which will not alter the architectural and the structural design, then that may be allowed by the promoter. Such minor alterations may be allowed by the promoter. One important thing that needs to be kept in mind is that nothing in the unit should be changed which alters the structural, uh, structural foundation of the project, या फिर architectural foundation of the project. And every such change which is of any substantive nature should be authorized or verified by such an architect or an engineer with a proper declaration कि ये change करने की वजह से the structure of the unit or the building shall not be impacted and it will not have any adverse effects. Now what we talked कि minor alterations are allowed, but what does minor alteration mean? So any minor alteration will exclude anything which brings a structural change, such as change in the area of the unit, change in the height of the walls in the unit, removal of any part of the building, या फिर removal or cutting off of an entire wall or part of the wall or a beam or the floor which supports the structure of the building, that cannot be altered with. Now, that something very important that is provided in this section is, we just talked कि अगर कोई substantial change promoter कर भी रहा है project पे तो उसे consent लेनी होगी allottees की. But consent of how many people? अगर project में 100 लोग हैं तो क्या 2 लोगों की consent लेने से वो change कर सकता है plan में? Then the answer is no. It has to be written consent of at least 2/3 of the allottees in the project जिनको अलॉट हुए हैं अपार्टमेंट्स और यूनिट्स, वॉट एवर द केस इज. At the very least, 2/3 of such allottees should consent to such additions and alterations. Only then such changes can be made. Now, for instance, if there are 100 apartments in a unit and अभी उसमें सिर्फ 50 सेल हुए हैं, बाकी के 50 are with the builder only. So is it the case कि builder खुद को consent देके consent form sign करके alterations modifications करा सकता है? No, it is very specifically written that 2/3 of the allottees in the project. इट हैज टू बी द अलॉटीज जिन्होंने फ्लैट्स ले लिए हैं, उनके उन अलॉटीज में से 2/3 ऑफ सच अलॉटीज शुड कंसेंट टुवर्ड्स सच मॉडिफिकेशंस एंड ऑल्टरेशंस in the plan. Now we were discussing above when we read about structural defect कि वो 5 years का timeline अलग अलग स्टेट के अलग अलग मॉडल रेरा अग्रीमेंट में लिखा होता है, जैसे कि हरियाणा रेरा के मॉडल अग्रीमेंट में भी लिखा है. इट इज फर्दर प्रोवाइडेड इन सेक्शन 15 कि अगर कोई भी स्ट्रक्चरल डिफेक्ट, सेक्शन 14 के सब क्लॉज 3 में दिया हुआ है कि अगर कोई भी स्ट्रक्चरल डिफेक्ट towards the workmanship, towards the quality of the project is brought to the notice of the promoter, then the within 5 years from handing over of the possession of such unit, it is the duty of the promoter to rectify such defects without taking any charges, and such rectification has to be done within 30 days. And what if the promoter is not able to rectify such defects, rectify structural defects, then in that case, the allottee is eligible to take compensation. The promoter becomes liable to pay compensation in that matter. Now we come to section 18. Section 18 we have also discussed previously. Now, Section 18 is what provides for compensation, which entitles an allottee to seek compensation. We had previously discussed कि जो adjudicating officer होते हैं उनके पास पावर होती है to adjudicate upon the compensation. So now उस compensation का जो foundation है comes from section 18. Section 18 provides कि if any builder fails to complete or is unable to give the possession of an apartment or a building, whatever the case is, as per the terms of the agreement to sell, uh, either he is not able to give it on time as per agreement to sell, या फिर क्योंकि उनका बिजनेस को क्योंकि प्रमोटर का बिजनेस ही डिसकंटिन्यू हो गया है, रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट रिवोक हो गया है, फॉर एनी सच रीजंस अगर प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट नहीं होता है, then two circumstances arise. Either the allottee will say that I do not wish to continue with this project और मुझे इस प्रोजेक्ट से विड्रॉ करना है. अगर अलॉटी ये कहता है तो इन दिस सिनेरियो the promoter becomes liable to refund him all the money that he has received along with interest and compensation to such allotee. Now, what if the allottee does not wish to withdraw from the project? Then, in that scenario, the promoter becomes liable to pay interest for every month of delay till actual handing over of the possession as the rate prescribed by the concerned state real estate authority. Now, uh, two very clear, distinctive scenarios are given under this section. एक सिनेरियो है कि प्रोजेक्ट में लेट्स से टाइमलाइन जो प्रॉमिस की गई थी मुझे कि मुझे पोजेशन हैंडओवर हो जाएगा बाय 31 दिसंबर 2022. अब हम 2025 में आ गए, मुझे अभी तक प्रोजेक्ट डिलीवर नहीं हुआ है. नाउ इसके दो रीजंस हो सकते हैं, या तो प्रमोटर ने डिले किया हुआ है बट वो बना देगा. सेकंड सिनेरियो इज कि वो प्रोजेक्ट बना ही नहीं पाएगा, उसका प्रोजेक्ट डिसकंटिन्यू, उसका बिजनेस डिसकंटिन्यू हो गया, प्रोजेक्ट बनेगा ही नहीं. नाउ व्हाट डज एन अलॉटी डू इन सच सर्कमस्टेंस? अलॉटी के पास दो ऑप्शंस है. या तो वो ये बोले कि मुझे प्रोजेक्ट से विड्रॉ करना है, मैंने आपको जितने पैसे दिए आप मुझे वापस कर दो. दैट इन दैट केस प्रमोटर के ऑब्लिगेशन क्या है कि वो पूरा अमाउंट जितना अलॉटी ने पे किया उसे वो अमाउंट वापस करे, उस अमाउंट पे इंटरेस्ट दें और साथ में कॉम्पेंसेशन दें. द वर्ड दैट हैज बीन यूज्ड इज एंड कॉम्पेंसेशन. सो गिविंग बैक द मनी टेकन फ्रॉम हिम प्लस इंटरेस्ट प्लस कॉम्पेंसेशन. जो दूसरा सिनेरियो है, अगर कोई अलॉटी विड्रॉ नहीं करना चाहता प्रोजेक्ट से, देन इन दैट केस व्हाट विल हैपन, जो मेरी डेडलाइन थी टू रिसीव द प्रोजेक्ट दैट इज 31 दिसंबर 2022 इन द एग्जांपल वी आर टेकिंग, फ्रॉम दैट डेट till the date I actually receive the possession, till that date I will receive an interest on the amount that I have paid from the promoter for every month of delay. एक महीने का डिले किया उसने, देन आई विल गेट इंटरेस्ट, देन अगेन नेक्स्ट मंथ डिले, आई विल गेट इंटरेस्ट. तो जितने भी मंथ्स का उसने डिले किया है उस पूरे पीरियड पे आई विल गेट एन इंटरेस्ट. Now the question that arises is what will be the rate of this interest? Now that rate is provided by the state regulatory authorities, real estate regulatory authorities. सारे states ने different rates prescribe कर रखे हैं. For instance, the rate in Haryana RERA that is followed is under Rule 15 is MCLR plus 2%. That is the rate of interest prevailing on that day of the bank plus 2% of interest on that is provided to the allottee for delay. Now, what happens if the promoter has given the project, but the project land का जो टाइटल है वो डिफेक्टिव है? जिस प्रोजेक्ट लैंड पे वो प्रोजेक्ट बनाया गया है उसके टाइटल में डिफेक्ट है, वो अंडर लिटिगेशन है, या देयर इज सम काइंड ऑफ अ डिफेक्ट इन द टाइटल ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट, देन इन दैट सिनेरियो द प्रमोटर बिकम्स लायबल टू कॉम्पेंसेट द अलॉटीज. Now, Another reason why the promoter becomes obligated to compensate the allottees is if he fails to discharge any of the duties that we discussed above. So far, we have discussed so many duties and obligations of the builder. If he fails to discharge those duties and obligations, then in that scenario, also he becomes liable to pay an interest. He becomes liable to pay a compensation to the allottee. Now we have so far discussed कि क्या obligations क्या duties होते हैं promoter के. Now what about the allotee? Allotee के पास क्या rights हैं, allotee के क्या obligations हैं, and that is provided under section 19. Section 19 details the rights and duties of the allottees. Section 19 is covered under chapter 4. Chapter 4 covers section 19. The title of the chapter in itself says rights and duties of the allottees. नाउ सेक्शन 19 में क्या दिया हुआ है? जो अलॉटी है वो उसके पास क्या राइट है? उसके पास ये राइट है दैट ही शैल हैव ऑल द इंफॉर्मेशन रिगार्डिंग द प्रोजेक्ट, रिगार्डिंग द सैंक्शन प्लान, लेआउट प्लान, रिगार्डिंग द अप्रूवल्स फ्रॉम कॉम्पिटेंट अथॉरिटीज, regarding all the approvals that from the competent authority, and any relevant information that is provided under the act or required by the concerned state's RERA authority that is required to be disclosed. अलॉटी के पास वो राइट है कि वो इंफॉर्मेशन ऑब्टेन कर सकता है प्रमोटर से, एंड अलॉटी के पास ये राइट है कि जो प्रमोटर है वो साइन करे अग्रीमेंट टू सेल. Allotee has as a right can ask the promoter for signing, executing the agreement to sell. Then what other right the allotee has? Allotee has the right to know stage wise development and completion of the project. Project at any point of time किस stage of completion पे है, उसमें कितना वर्क, कितना असेंशियल वर्क टुवर्ड्स वाटर, सैनिटेशन, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी या अदर अमेनिटीज हो चुका है, किस स्टेज तक कंप्लीट हो गया है, ये at any given point of time the allotee is entitled to know. फिर the allotee has an absolute right to claim the possession of the apartment जो उसने बुक किया है, and the association of allottees is absolutely entitled to claim possession of the common areas. We discussed above that it is the duty of the promoter to hand these over. Also, it is the right of the allottee to ask for the possession of his apartment, and it is the right of the association of allottees or the RWA to ask for the possession of the common areas. Now, what happens if a promoter breaches the terms of the agreement to sell? अगर वो follow नहीं करता है agreement to sell के terms, तो what right does an allotee have? Then in that case, allotee has a right to seek refund of the amount that is paid along with interest. Now, further, the allotee has the right to have access to all necessary documents, not just for his unit but also for the common area. If he wants to know the he wants to know the, let's say, the date of environment clearance, then he has the right to have access to the date of such environment clearance or a copy of such environment clearance for the entire project. Then further, the allotee, any allotee who has entered into an agreement to sell, we have discussed so far कि allottees के पास rights क्या है, but also allottees के कुछ duties भी तो है. We discussed in section 13 कि कोई promoter 10% of the cost of the apartment से ज्यादा ले नहीं सकता till agreement to sell. But जब agreement to sell हम execute करते हैं या हम allotment लेते हैं एक unit का, हम consent करते हैं to a payment plan. So it becomes the duty of the allottee to ensure that he is making timely payments of demands as per the payment plan. It is not कि payment plan से हटके अगर promoter ने मुझसे बीच में demand मांग ली या arbitrarily demand मांग ली तो मैं obligated हूँ, नहीं. But whatever payment plan the allottee has consented to, it is the absolute duty of the allottee to ensure that he is making timely payments of such demands. those demands and timely payments also include not just the पेमेंट जो प्रमोटर ने आपसे मांगा है, इट इज ऑल्सो टू इंश्योर कि जो भी टैक्सेस मुझे एज एन अलॉटी पे करने हैं, जो भी अदर चार्जेस मुझे एज एन अलॉटी पे करने हैं टू द गवर्नमेंट, वो भी मैं इंश्योर कर रहा हूँ कि वो सारे चार्जेस पे हो रहे हैं. दैट इज ऑल्सो द ड्यूटी ऑफ द अलॉटी. In case we saw that in case the promoter delays possession of the unit, the allotee gets interest. But what if the allotee delays making payment? Then in that case, allotee becomes liable to pay interest towards such delayed payment. So if then allotee is making payment of the demands late, then he becomes liable to pay interest on such demand. नाउ व्हाट इफ जो मेरे अग्रीमेंट टू सेल में फॉर इंस्टेंस अगर लिखा हुआ है कि अलॉटी ने अगर डिले किया टू मेक पेमेंट ऑफ डिमांड, तो वो मुझे 10, वो बिल्डर को 10% इंटरेस्ट देगा. बट द अलॉटी वेंट टू द बिल्डर एंड एक्सप्लेन कि आई वाज अंडर these situations and I was not able to pay the demand. It will not happen in future, or whatever the terms that are agreed between the promoter and the builder. So it is not that कि promoter cannot reduce the rate of interest. If the promoter says कि 10% की जगह आप मुझे 5% interest दे दो, कोई बात नहीं, then it cannot be कि नहीं नहीं हमने agreement में 10 sign किया था तो मैं कम दूंगा तो कुछ issue होगा. No. If the build promoter and the allotee are consenting to take less interest, then that can be mutually decided by the parties and it is absolutely acceptable. Now we saw above that formation of an association of allottees or RWA has to be facilitated by the promoter. With that, it is also the obligation of the allottee to participate in the formation of such RWA or association of allottees. Then we further it is also the absolute obligation of an allottee to take the physical possession of the apartment of the unit within 2 months from the OC of the apartment or unit being issued. So it is not just the builder who is obligated to give the possession. What if the builder has offered me the possession, but me as an allottee, I am not taking the possession? Is that allowed? Then no. The answer is that no, an allotee cannot keep delaying taking possession of the unit. अगर after duly obtaining OC builder ने मुझे possession offer किया है, तो as an allotee it becomes my obligation to take possession of that unit. Then further it becomes my obligation to register the conveyance deed. Conveyance deed register karana उस unit की in my own name is not just beneficial for me and not just the duty of the promoter, it is also my duty to ensure that it is happening. I believe with that we come to the end of all the substantive provisions that we plan to discuss today. Does anyone have any questions or something that anyone who would want to discuss? They can go forward. Is everyone clear with the discussion that we had today? No questions? All right, then I believe everybody is clear with today's session. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day. Take care. We'll conclude the session now.